How's it going, everyone? It's Liam Carson here. I'd say for one final time, but there's an unaired pilot that I will be uploading, or making public, should I say, in a few weeks. So, yeah. But in terms of episodic reactions to Charmed, this is it. 2 in 1. As there's going to be episodes 21 and 22. So yeah, what I'll do for this video specifically, I'll split my thoughts into two sections for covering episode 21 and finale, of course. But yes, I'll do something similar to the reaction itself, which of course you can find in the link below in the description and the comments section. Hopefully this will be the last time I'll have to say something like that. So yeah, obviously on our journey with Charmed, we've had some copyright kerfuffles. So yeah. And I wish I could play with fire and see if, they have changed their minds in terms of if they're going to be pedantic assholes in 2025, but given the fact that Netflix have chosen that path as well, I severely doubt they've changed their minds. Anyways, enough rambling about me. So yeah, you can find the reaction to both parts in one video, which I'll split, obviously, once episode 21 is concluded in video. Yeah, I'll split it into 2 parts, and yeah, so, but, yeah, this is it. This is the moment a lot of people have been waiting for, I guess. So I say that as if people have been wanting for me to conclude Charmed, but I mean, it's always getting to this moment. You guys have, some of you guys have spent like 20 years absorbing this finale, I guess, and now it's, well, I've already had my turn, but now it's time for you guys to check out how I fared. So, yeah. But it's been a real blast, this journey. It's been so incredible. It's been a great journey. And I'm going to miss Charmed so much. So, yeah. It's been really, really incredible. I'll even include a special intro for the reaction video itself, because I did have a prop with me. So, yeah, but again, a big thank you to everyone who has tuned into my Charmed reactions, who've been with me through the good and hard times as well, the sad times as well. But there have been some hard times. Hard times. I can't do it. I can't do. Was it Paramore? Yeah. I thought I was on tune. No. There have been hard times. But it's been a blast to react to this journey and to share my reactions onto YouTube and I guess Dropbox. But for you guys, the public. So, yeah. But, yeah. Without further ado, I'll let me from the past digest my thoughts. To both episodes of Charmed, and I'll let you guys check out my reaction to both episodes of Charmed's finale. So, with that said, I'll see you guys next time. And until then, toodles! Jeez. I mean, it was insane, though. It was really, really insane, and I did really love that idea of I did kind of love it, especially the triad. Oh, we'll take care of them. So, but I'm imagining that's it, though. That is the total end of the triad, especially in their vulnerable state. Killed them before they even got the chance to totally reform, because, of course, they can rise again into their spiritual form before they can take physical manifestation. So, yeah. And it's just really, really heartbreaking to just see the total events, the total conclusion of things. Because again, like that's it with previous episodes, and I know we joke about the fact of the Charmed ones dying and all of that. Piper, Phoebe, Paige, they've all had their numbers and all of that in terms of dying and all that shit. But since we're in the finale, and now we got only 40 minutes left of Charmed, give or take, of course. It begs the question: what are we gonna do about this? There is there's no guarantee. Even the Angel of Destiny was a bit surprised with how the events went by and all of that. So, and Piper's going to be beating herself up because it feels like this shouldn't have been the way to get Leo back. It worked, but it worked at it. Like, it's probably the worst. Like, you know how you can get multiple endings in a game or whatever, and you pick the worst one. Yeah, you still got to the end of the game, but you chose the worst option, didn't you? And it feels like that with Phoebe. Yeah. Paige. I mean, I don't know what's happened to Christy as well, but she's probably dead. So yeah, but yeah, it will be very interesting to go into that next episode, to be fair. But I mean, we got Leo back. See, all this time, you kept seeing images of Leo. Like this kind of like apparition, really, of Leo. And all I could just think about was, is it the right move to make? Like, it's a little sign. Okay, yeah, keep on this path and all of that, but yeah, I mean, it seemingly was and it wasn't at the same time. Leo's back, but at the expense of Phoebe. So yeah, but that's it though. Like, it was a very skeptical plan to begin with because we know what happened when it came to the source and what happened to Cole, and yeah, tampering with the Hollow is going to be consequential. And it proved just as much in this episode. So, yeah. And, yeah, it was really, really great stuff. Very explosive. Again, I don't know how the next episode's going to go by. So, because, I mean, there's got to be a kind of finality, hasn't there, in terms of closing the book on this show, right? Cool. So yeah, but I just don't know how they're gonna like deal with Phoebe, how they're gonna deal with Paige, everything else. So yeah, but yeah, it was great, and Chris seemingly has developed powers, of course. So I think he was the one that definitely did save Wyatt because they absorbed. Because that's it though. You had Domain instruct Billie and Christy to absorb Wyatt's powers. Okay, cool. How did he still up? Because Wyatt. And there's all of this talk about, hey, Wyatt. Oh no, with Chris, he hasn't developed his powers yet, and I think it makes sense, really, if you're gonna end the show, like, showcase a glimmer of Chris's. I mean, obviously we've seen adult Chris's abilities be used and all of that, but now, both Chris and Wyatt are kids, and Chris with Wyatt, he's been able to use his powers for eons. Chris is still yet to showcase that, and now he has. So it's all well and good. And it was definitely all well and good saving Wyatt. But I mean, that's it though. Like, they were talking about what could potentially happen to Wyatt, and even Billie was very skeptical about what could have potentially happened to Wyatt. So yeah, because you don't want to throw the kids in the middle of her um of this battle, and it does seem like with Christy, she doesn't have any kind of qualms about what might happen. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, I was just kind of hoping as well that there would be some kind of, I guess, realization from, like, I mean, obviously that would culminate in Christy getting her ass kicked potentially, because, yeah, um, but I was low key hoping that that was going to be the case because of the fact that, like, with Christy and all of that, she has been speaking so much in regards to the manipulation and trying her best. Like, even when there's like something that doesn't sound good in Billie's head, she's still able to rein her in, isn't she? So, yeah, but yeah, it was, yeah, it was really, really great stuff. But yeah, I just don't know where Paige is. I mean, yeah, she could have orbed out, but I don't think she would orb out and then just be like, yeah, it's been real, sisters, bye. uh, yeah. But it's also kind of mirroring to last season as well, obviously, with the finale. You know how, obviously, there was that battle with Zanku, and there was this explosion in the basement, and, the sisters were thought to be dead. Well, here we are. Actually, one sister is dead. One other sister is unknown. And the house is absolutely totaled. So, and that's kind of sad. It is kind of sad that we got into that point where the house is just completely annihilated. And yeah, so, but yeah, I did like Victor's involvement, but I was gonna say though, when Domain did his like efforts to try and convince Wyatt to come to the manor, my heart skipped. And again, there with this being the part one of part two of the finale, essentially, of the total finale. I just feel like the death flags are raised for even every character, just a little bit, and Victor included. I know he's had some near scares, but again, the death flags, like, no one's invincible in this finale. So, and I was worried when Domain tried to influence White to up to the manor and all of that. I was worried that Victor was going to walk through and he would be a fatality. So, also got all of the way that he was able to talk to Cupid, but I also really loved about, like, Victor, who has, of course, with, like, he's had his experiences of heartbreak and all of that. I do love the fact that he was able to educate that whilst Cupid, is the embodiment of love, there is also that thing that he does lack, and that's heartbreak. So, yeah. It was just really, really great stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see, I guess. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting. But I also don't want to start it up as well because it's the finale, and I don't want it. I don't want it to go. Yeah. So, but it got to rip off that band-aid. So yeah. But we'll just have to wait and see what does happen. So, final time, folks. For one final time, let's do Charmed. It's been a real blast. It's been amazing. I've loved I've loved this show to bits and pieces. Yeah. So for one final time, it's Charmed. It's episode 8. It's episode 22 of season 8. We've closed the book. Oh no, that was terrible. That was terrible. Face palms. We've closed the book on Charmed. Yeah, it was really, really great. It was really, really amazing. I felt like this was a pretty amazing. Yeah, this was a really, really fun finale. It was really great, and yeah. I loved the flash forwards that we got at the end, where some characters are just thriving in what they do best in terms of outside of you know, their retrospective charmed abilities and all of that with Phoebe and her column thriving, with Piper going back to her roots. I really loved that because you just remember when Quake and all of that, and yeah. So, but of course they are going to have kids, and um, it's something that is just, yeah, it is just something that is kind of expected, isn't it? Because of, well, Phoebe especially, but with Piper, she's already had two. But of course, there was the factor of her having a daughter as well in season 2, of course. So I guess that got revisited in a sense. So yeah, obviously, the events of season 2 wouldn't have been like in terms of that trip into the future in 2009 wouldn't have been canon, but it's the fact that, you know, Piper and Leo had a daughter, and it's like, so yeah. And yeah, we I think the only one that really would take anyone kind of by surprise, I guess, because Phoebe's been wanting a kid, and you know, Piper's already got two. But I guess it's Paige really. So yeah, but it was really, really nice. I do expect, like, out of the many of kids that they had, between, well, Phoebe, Paige, and Piper, one of them was called Prue. I'm already imagining that is the case. So, yeah, but yeah, I mean, and it was really great to have Billie involved because she's without family, really. But she already had a family for the most part in terms of the Charmed ones, really. So, it was really, really great that, okay, well, you know, the last bit of her we saw wasn't, you know, just bellowing about the prospect of killing her sister, but it was because she was with the family and all of that. So, with her new family, the Charmed ones. So, yeah. Um, so it was. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that she did pull away at the very end, but it is what I expected, isn't it, when it comes to Billie? Ultimately, that she would find a way to pull away from Christy. And I'm glad she did without, you know, sacrificing herself in the process, because they could have gone that way where both Jenkins' family members would die in the crossfire. So, yeah. But I guess it's also kind of apt, isn't it? I mean, there might be some people who are thinking, oh, the Charmed one should have dealt with Christy. But it's very apt, like, in terms of the ultimate power, or at least one half of the ultimate power rejecting the other part of the ultimate power. So I guess it kind of makes sense, doesn't it, when Billie, as well as the fact that this forces Billie to kind of do what has to be done, really. You know, after weeks and whatnot of manipulation, yeah. So it is a sad it is sad. It is rough that Billie has to you know, do that, but it is a situation that she had to, yeah. So and it was really, really great that again, she did turn around to the Charmed Ones and admit her wrongs and all of that. So yeah. Um, but yeah, I mean, this episode was a huge timey-wimey fest. It was chaotic. It was very timey-wimey, especially, um, getting... Like, it was a really, really interesting idea to have the three generations of Hallowells. Paddy, Penny, Piper, all at different time points and all of that. Um, and it was just very comedical at first, like especially with Cupid's ring and all of that, and how that led to conception, I guess, of Phoebe. So as well as Penny just having to process everything. So yeah, but yeah, it was really great. Even bringing Chris and Wyatt involved as well, because of course Wyatt lost his abilities, and it's like, okay, we need to go back to the source of all of this. So yeah. Um, so it was just chaotic. I don't know if I should even entertain the idea of making sense of this whole timey-wimey shebang. So, because even when there were two Pipers, when they revisited the ending of the last episode, I'm like, okay, that was weird how they dealt with this Piper. So yeah, but yeah. Um, so it was really, really great stuff, though. And even seeing future Piper and future Leo got my heart like happy, because they deserve they deserve eternity with each other. So yeah, and they seemingly have gotten that. As well as Phoebe and Coop. The way that Uncle Coop, I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be too much of a big deal, considering, I mean, surely Phoebe's going to spend the rest of her life with Coop, but it's just affirmation, isn't it? It's just like, well, there's your proof there. They're going to be together for at least a long time. At least forever seems to be the indication. I don't think there was any indication apart from the, closer of Paige and Henry, but let's assume they lived together forever. So yeah. Um. So it was just really, really amazing stuff to see. That come about really. So yeah. Um. But it was nice, and even Leo going back to magic school as well. I loved that, and you're seeing the greys and all of that in his hair, and yeah. So but I just really loved a lot of the magic, and it was a really, really enjoyable finale, and a really enjoyable way of it was like I would have liked Prue to be involved. I know it feels like we're treading familiar terrain with last season, because I know I said that for the finale last season, but um it would have been very, very great, like especially in this whole scenario where we've got everyone, in terms of prominent, like in terms of the members of the Hallowell family that we've gotten to know over the years, past, present, future. Prue was obviously the missing piece in all of this, right? And of course, there are going to be, as I've addressed before, difficulties bringing Shannon in this whole situation. And I was just thinking, well, I know this wouldn't seem right and all of that. And I feel like that was what they were going for, given the fact that they like Prue might be a bit inexperienced and all of that, so it wouldn't really make a lick of sense apart from fan service to do so. But I was just thinking, just like a teenage version of Prue to assist and all of that. Maybe, I don't know. Um, but I not just would it be a bit fan servicey, I guess, like this inexperience of Prue, but it wouldn't be Shannon, and yeah, so with Piper, I think you could get away with it in terms of like if because I was thinking, are they going to bring Piper involved, like Teen Piper? I don't know, because I mean, yeah, but I think without Shannon's involved, it just wouldn't be right. So yeah. Um, so it was just really, really good though. The how everyone was processing everyone. Like Victor with Paddy and and vice versa. So I was surprised to see Chris and Wyatt come by. To be fair, from the future. But it's the fact that they get to share the same scene together in terms of a good. Well, I guess in terms of both of them being good, because we've not seen that before. Yeah, we've seen good Wyatt, but we haven't seen both good Wyatt and good Chris. So it was great to see Chris again. Given the fact that this time last 2 seasons ago, our hearts were breaking with Chris dying. So yeah, but yeah, it was really nice, but yeah, and I know some people might think that the ultimate battle ultimately ended up to be an ultimate, you know, because I felt like it might have been a little anticlimactic in a sense. But at the same time, I know we had our big battle when it came to the sisters, and the Jenkins, and the whole house blew up. So, um, yeah. But what I found very, very interesting was with the Angel of Destiny and how she brought Leo back again, and how the battle ended the way it should. It didn't really feel ultimate and all of that. It really backfired, essentially, if anything, onto like this whole ultimate. It feels a bit weird in a sense, because this whole ultimate battle you've been hyping up is just basically what Piper, what has been done before with Paige, especially. So Energy Ball, just throw that back at the person who instigated the attack. That's all that the ultimate battle was in the end. I mean, yeah, of course, they did take out the Triad, and we know the importance of the Triad. Like, as long as they still survive, this whole shit continues and all of that. So, I know that played a massive, massive role. But in terms of the ultimate power, yeah. So, that's all that was just needed, really. So, but of course, I guess it's like little cogs, isn't it? In terms of, well, a triad also need to be defeated as well. So, and even they had a bit of incompetence. I mean, you had Domain try to warn the triad. Domain coming from, hey, look, I've come from the future to warn you about this. You need to go, and they just stood there. So, like, oh shit, boom. So, yeah, it might not have been the most in terms of final battles, it might not have been the most epic and all of that. So yeah, but um, yeah, it was still a really, really nice finale, I would say. And a nice way to end things. I did feel bad for for Billie. Should I say not Christy? I did feel bad for Billie. Especially since all of her family has died. Her parents, and now she had to live with that guilt. I would say, with what happened, the way that she vanquished her sister. Yeah. So, but I mean, ultimately, this was a really, really great way to conclude Charmed. I would say it was really beautiful. And you know what? It's just been a really fantastic show. I know I've made my piece in the beginning about how much in awe I've been with this show. But now it's over, and yeah, of course, this season hasn't exactly been the best and all of that, and I'd be surprised to see someone saying that, really. So yeah, that's understandable. However, I have really enjoyed this season, and it's been a very, very amazing to go through. So yeah. And again, I think season three, season four, that kind of remains the top seasons for me. So yeah, just I think that was like the peak of Charmed for me. Um, but yeah. that was it. I'm gonna miss Piper especially. No more new adventures with Piper, I guess. Like, yeah. No, but it's been a real blast to go through this, and yeah, I want to thank you all for going through this journey with me, because it's been a blast and it's been a treat and it's been something that I've really loved. Um, you know, nearly 3 years I've been doing this. 2022. Oy. Um, and it's just been worth it. It's just been worthwhile, and it's been fantastic, amazing. So, yeah. Um, but yeah, until then, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys enjoyed these reactions to Charmed. Yes, I will see you guys next time. Hope you guys take good care of yourselves. And until the next time, toodles!